Y'all know what time it is. Why? I like to introduce the song. Bow, ha, and present to many. Ha, Carolina Panther. T1, let go.
There we go again. You know we about to show out, cause we know we gon' win. We ready for the kick out, so go on, let us in, so we can hit the end zone and show you how we dance. Black, blue, silver, white, black, blue. Yeah, black, blue, silver, white, black, blue. Yeah.
Game face on, ready for whatever. Rain, sleet, snow, go through any weather. We gon' play to win, as long as we together. We gon' take it out, cause ain't nobody better. Heart of a champ, mind of a winner. All we do is win, that's the anthem. Show up to your city and make a lot of noise, and they be like, who that? Panther! Yeah, we be going hard, and we be going strong. We known everywhere, cause we be putting on. Losing on condone that, point blank period. Shut the league down, cause it is that serious.
There we go again. You know we about to show out, cause we know we gon' win. We ready for the kick out, so go on, let us in, so we can hit the end zone and show you how we dance.
Black, blue, silver, white, black, blue. Yeah, black, blue, silver, white, black, blue. We gon' get it. Yo.
Hello, Panther Nation. This is the Black Catz podcast. I am your host, Brandon Herbert, aka the Black Cat. Now, this is the first episode of hopefully a long, legitimate series. So let's see if we can have some fun tonight. Tonight was the NFL draft. Like everybody else knows, you know, it was a lot of surprises. A lot of surprises. But you know, let's just skip down and then just see what we thought about Carolina's pick. Wow, man, wow. Carolina, they shocked. I don't know if they shocked everyone, but they really shocked me. They had so many different directions that they could go with this pick. Defensive tackle is one of our strongest positions, and they just picked up Paul Soliai. This just goes to show that David Gettleman, he really doesn't really care what other people think. He's going to do whatever that he thinks is best. I really hope that this is the right choice, though. They had... Kandichi was picked. Kandichi was where I thought that we should have gotten him, but he was pick up ahead of us. Arizona, they did it again like last year. They picked Humphreys before us last year, so they screwed us out of that pick again. I really felt that defensive end is a very big need. I understand that it's deep in defensive tackle and defensive end. But defensive end was a really big need for him. And that was actually bigger than my cornerback need, because I feel like if you rush the passer enough, your cornerbacks can be average, and you can still, come up with, a very good defense, and it won't affect it as much. I feel that the defensive line can actually affect it a lot more than the secondary. Now, don't get me wrong, Josh Norman, and we'll get to that a little later and talk about, how big of a decision was that and how that will affect us. Because I feel like Jonathan Agba, I think that's his name, could have been that pick for us. Or Kevin Dobb. I really am struggling to see, I see the value in it, and picking Butler, but we have a very good interior. I understand you can add another piece and it'd be even better. We're maxing out the interior right now, which that's not a bad thing, but at the same time, we have KK and we have Star. That is one heck of a combination. And I really do feel like we can sign KK. I think that's why David Gettleman was thinking, he had to preserve some of the money in that area because we can sign KK. And Star we can sign for not as much as KK because, KK is really giving us interior pass rush. And I do feel like Star, towards the end of the last year, he picked up, a little bit of the pass rush a little bit. So he's improving his game as we speak. And then we picked up Paul Soliai, which he's a very, very good run stopper. I understand we got better at defensive tackle, but I don't think it was like a tremendous upgrade over anybody that we have. Now, like I said, we need a pass rush. Like Ely, I feel like Ely can step up into that role and take it. He did towards the end of last year, the last 5 games, he was tremendous, and he was tremendous in the Super Bowl. He had 3 sacks, a pick, 2 forced fumbles, a fumble recovery. Like, I think that he's ready to take that next step. This is going to be his 3rd year, and that's usually when pass rushers hit their max around that 3rd year. And maybe that's what Dave Gettleman was looking at. Maybe this Butler guy can come in there and be an immediate impact. I'm not sure where they were going. I know that he said that it was the best player available. And I understand that, but even if you want to go that way, we could have got, now who I really thought that was hoping that he would have failed to us, but he got picked kind of early, but I was hoping that Joseph would have fell to us, the safety. He would have been a great pick. But obviously that didn't happen. But with the picks that we had, I thought we were lined up to take a very good defensive end or a very good pass rusher because they did fall. I wouldn't have been even mad if we would have took Miles Jack. Because that would have gave us a tremendous rotation, and maybe we could even put, Shaq Thompson at safety, because he's played safety in the past. We could have done a lot with that pick. I don't think we just maxed out at this pick or got the best available player that we could have gotten. Who knows? David Gettleman has done stuff to shock us in the past, but this is one that I'm really kind of struggling to see where he was coming from. And speaking of questionable decisions, at least I haven't given my take on the whole Josh Norman thing, and then we'll get back to the draft in a second. But I understand what people are saying. I understand both sides, because from one perspective, you snatch the franchise tag from under him and be like, bye, thanks for, see you later. But I don't think you really had a backup plan when you did that. And then on the other side is, because I've heard people say that it was wrong that they just took it away from him. He didn't even sign his tender or whatever. Well, he had a chance. I'm sorry. It's not like we took it there, we had it for a day, and we just snatched it from under him. He actually had a chance. So when it comes to Stephen A. Smith and different analysts and sports analysts and everything talking about they didn't give him a chance, he had a chance. It was on the table for almost a month. It probably was on longer than that. So it was initially his fault, because if he would have signed the tender, they would have been forced to keep him anyway. And I love Josh Norman. I really do. I love his attitude. I love his aggressiveness. I love it all. But I don't think in any scheme he's really worth $15, $16 million a year. I mean, the contract he got from Washington was it was way too much, way more overpaid. I mean, as a cornerback, you sign a 5-year deal, $75 million. That's not the point. I understand that, the $15 million a year and stuff like that. I knew he was going to get that. But the $50 million guaranteed was what got me. So you better hope to high heavens that he's going to be a top 3 cornerback. And because if you ask him to play man a lot, we've seen that he can get beat. Odell Beckham, if he wouldn't have gotten in Odell Beckham head, Odell Beckham would have had a heck of a game against Josh Norman. Julio Jones, whenever he manned up with Julio Jones, and I can't stand the Falcons, but whenever he manned up against Julio Jones, he got roasted a little bit. But I still don't understand the point of letting it go. I understand you saying you couldn't see a future, signing him to a long-term deal. And then you said that you can do something else with that $14 million. What possibly are you going to do with that $14 million right now this year? Because after this year, you could sign KK, you can sign Star and everything, and that $14 million will help. But you're not going to do anything with it this year. You're just going to be sitting there. I do not get your strategy. I hope we don't take a step back next year, but I do not get your strategy, David Gettleman. Like, please help us. Tell me something. Because getting rid of a top flight cornerback, and then he might only be top flight in our system, but to getting rid of a top flight cornerback, that is really, really difficult for me to see. Maybe it'll work out. Maybe Ben Wickery will turn out to be something. I like Benet, but I don't know if he can take Josh Norman's spot. We'll see. But I don't get the logic to me of you getting rid of him. It doesn't make any sense. Even if you couldn't see, we could have rented him for a year and try to make another run at the Super Bowl. This is what this is about, getting back to the Super Bowl. And I don't know how that's going to happen if we're taking away pieces that got us to the Super Bowl. Don't forget, Josh Norman single-handedly won us a couple of those games, especially against the Saints, because the Saints were driving up and down the field, and Josh Norman got that last-minute game-winning pick to win us that game. Cam Newton was great all year, but that's what won us that game. So we wouldn't have been, 14-0, to be able to get that run. I'm really, really praying that he knows what he's doing. I'm trying to trust Dave Gettleman, but it's getting hard this year. I mean, it really, really is. It's been questionable decision after questionable decision. But then again, we've questioned him in the past when, he let go Steve Smith, D'Angelo Williams and everything. And our team has progressively gotten better, and better. So maybe he knows what he's doing, but come on, David Gettleman. I mean, even if he was the number one, going back to the draft, even if Butler was the number one person on your board, I don't see the reasoning of taking him. But like I said, maybe Dave Gettleman, I know he is. He's smarter than us. He's gotten that job for a reason. But if he's not like an Aaron Donald type, or even another KK type player where he can, get double-digit sacks, it's not worth it. I'm pretty sure the pass rushers we passed up will be in that category. At least one of them would be in that double-digit category. So, who knows? I'm really hoping that he's a dominant player. Even I would rather even take Derrick Henry. Jonathan Stewart's getting a little old in the tooth. But I still like Jonathan Stewart. But I think he's only got 1 or 2 more years left before he's off the team. Probably this might be his last year, unless he just has a really crazy good year again. But yeah. I'm very, very excited about next season, but I'm going into it cautiously optimistic. I'm kind of nervous because of the pieces that we lost, and Carolina's not known for big splash plays in free agency, which I don't mind that, but at some time you need to go out there and get certain free agents to give you that extra push. But if we get back to the Super Bowl again and we win it this year, everybody's gonna call him a genius. So I'm hoping that's what the case is. I don't want us to take a step back. We were this close. If we could have blocked, for the Super Bowl, we would have won. Or if they, and I'm not trying to go back in old news, but if they would have freaking called that Jericho Cotchery a catch, we probably would have won, because that changed a lot of the momentum. But, I got a story up on Panthers28.com that just came out. It's about, what it's going to take for Carolina to get to that next level for next year, to actually, get to the Super Bowl and actually win. Because this is a completely different road that they're going to have to take. They rode, the road that, had that chip on their shoulder. Nobody thought that they were going to win the NFC South, yet alone the NFC. So they had that chip on their shoulder. This year, they have to remold and restructure that chip, because people are going to see them coming this year. But they really have to focus and prove, Cam Newton's going to have a chip on his shoulder to show, hey, I'm still here. Y'all wanted to talk all about me, bad about me, and everything about how I handled the press conference. Well, we're going to start winning, and we're going to win the big game, and then you won't have to see that press conference. The whole team has to have a chip on their shoulder to be like, that wasn't a fluke. Because Carolina is a very talented roster, but they have holes. They can't afford to take, anyone lightly. I'm glad kind of about having a quarterback. Having to face Denver with a rookie quarterback. They just drafted Paxton Lynch. I'm kind of glad about having to face them at first, because I figured that might be an easy win. Even though like last year they beat us without really a quarterback, because Peyton Manning was like horrible in that game. But I feel like the missing pieces on Denver's defense, Malik Jackson gone, I think Brandon Marshall had left. A few pieces on that defense might actually hurt this team, because the reason that sometime Von Miller wasn't getting double teamed was because Malik Jackson was kicking our butt in the middle. So I feel like that might be enough to get us on a roll to start off with and build some momentum at the beginning of the season. But yeah, we'll see. This one is actually going to be kind of short and sweet, I guess. Like I said, Panther Nation. My Twitter handle is Panther28. At Panthers28. I have my own website. My website is Panthers28.com. It'll probably switch over to the Black Catz podcast. The blackcats.com. it'll probably switch over to that in maybe like a month. I'm trying to get everything up and running. You can subscribe to me on YouTube. It's going to be Carolina Panthers. You'll find the logo up there. So let's try to get this thing rolling. I would love to start doing it live. Like once I get a little bit more people and some more feedback and everything, we can do it live. We can have live chats. And this is your podcast. This is why I'm doing it for. This is for you. I want to grow this. I want to grow it fast. If you don't have to, of course. But we have a donation tab on my website. We have a donation tab on this podcast right here. You can just even if it's just $1, a few pennies, whatever, please. It's none of it will be going to me. Trust me on that. It would all be going back into making this one of the greatest Carolina podcasts and one of the greatest Carolina websites or whatever that they have. I want to make this about you. On my website, I have a comment part on my website. It's not like any other website. Trust me on this. It's not like any other website. You can say whatever you want. You're not going to get blocked. You're not going to get this. You can debate. You can do whatever you want. Because I feel like that we don't have those, we have all sorts of restrictions on things nowadays where I want this to be raw. I want it to be fun. I want it to be active. So Carolina Panther fans, if you like what you hear, like I said, go to my website, Panthers28.com. Panthernation28.com. I probably said Panthers28.com a few times, but Panthernation28.com. And like I said, subscribe to my YouTube. My Facebook is Brandon Herbert. My Twitter is @PantherNation28. So just subscribe to me. Tell me what you think. Give me advice or whatever. So we'll see you next time. I'm not sure how long. I'm going to try to do it weekly. This is just a special just to get it started. It'll probably be about every Tuesday. No, I'm sorry, every Wednesday. It'll be every Wednesday around 10 o'clock. So if you're a Panthers fan, just follow me, hit me up, like, and everything. And like I said, and please, thank you guys for everything, all the support that I've gotten and everything like that. Thank you for, there's another podcast that has really helped me out a little bit. The C3 podcast, Cat Chronicles. Thank y'all so much for everything that y'all did. So don't forget, guys, if you're not a Panthers fan, you're not a fan at all. I'll see you next Wednesday.
Y'all know what time it is. Why? I like to introduce the song. Bow, ha, and present to many. Ha, Carolina.